morning on this somewhat wintry day in northern Michigan. Earlier, as I was doing the shoveling of some snow, beautiful stuff, introducing you to some of my friends, the deer and the turkeys, I asked a question, actually two simple questions, regarding tea and pudding. And simple answers for things, but behind that was actually a different motive. I'm a tea drinker, love tea, drink tea all the time. It's actually more tasty than that bad instant coffee I drank. Probably had 6 cups of tea all day, or so far. And I actually understand, the meaning of saying going for tea or taking tea in England, but I wanted to push that towards the forefront as far as never take things at surface value or, first impression. Tea is a wonderful thing that goes beyond just a drink. I appreciate the traditions, the social relevance. We're taking tea, we're going to sit down, we're going to converse, we're going to use it more as a drink, but as a way to come together. And so, with that, I'm going to introduce a couple bows and then talk again about not taking things as what they appear, because I'm going to get into a little bit of symbolism here. Behind me are 2 mighty long bows that are going to be going off to 2 16-year-olds in Oregon. And the criteria given to me, proposed to me, was kind of goth-like stuff, because the person that I make Christmas bows for every year is really into like the artsy side and appreciates like giving me kind of an idea and then letting me run with it, which I greatly appreciate. So here I have 2 long bows, and you'll see them in greater detail. I'm just yapping away, and I'm making these bows. It's like I'm unwilling to cartoonize them. They're real things. They represent real stuff. And so I am going to do my best to present 2 bows that are significant. Bows in themselves are significant. They represent a connection to our past, a connection to the world, a means where we can transpose our energy into this device, which throws that energy into a living creature, potential food or danger. They serve multiple purposes. Taking that energy and giving it to us so we can continue. That's the scheme of everything, the drive to continue. And what I did was, I added black. He said black, but I'm looking at these things, and I'm going to bring them somewhat close so you can see the first step of design. And I'm going to do my best so you can't see the subtle designs within these fields. And if you're keen of eye, you will notice that I have black edges, and the richness will be brought out when I do the finishing coat. And on this, hunter green, and on this, red. And so right off the bat, there is symbolism on this green. What does green represent? And I hear you in the studio audience screaming out plants, living things, the world, Mother Earth. You have a lot of different answers on there, a lot of interpretations, but green to me is like the life around us as far as the plant life and beyond. The red one, heat, fire, aggression, that are part of it. You have like the 2 sides of the coin that Varg mentioned. You must be kind, you must be ruthless, mirror image that are part of the whole. That was beautiful. Okay, so without getting it in the light correctly so you can't see the painted designs, the scoopy tips, reminiscent of a very ancient European bow style that had spoon-like tips. I am going to grab the green one. The designs are somewhat similar, they're somewhat different. but the green one I do believe will allow you to see the painted designs in copper. I'm going to cover up two of these things. And in the first one, gosh, I hope you can see this in the camera. Can you see that copper? There's number one. There's number two, and it goes along with the green. The design speaks for itself. In the center of the field, between this and between that, it's going to be tough. Hopefully that copper will glint. Oh, look at that. You see a bunch of lines in there. And this is for Joe's benefit as well as everyone else, so he can explain it to the young men who will own the bows. Both of them have the same bind rune on there. Not taking anything at surface value. Runes express that to a huge degree. Yes, you can just write stuff out. They represent letters. Their shapes represent stuff. When you combine them, they mean things. And in this case, I'm not going to do like basic runology because that in itself can take a lot. If you can see that, first of all, the basic design, aside from everything else within that, it turns out that it looks like an arrow, which works out well. Lucky coincidence? Maybe not. What we're seeing is a line that runs the center, the base of the bind rune, and then the different ones that shoot off at different angles and different numbers. And this is a symmetrical. That line defines the center with the mirror image. And so what I find fascinating is, yes, you can use this old language, just say, spell out your grocery list. Letter, 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 letter. Fine it, but when you start getting into bind runes, things start getting a little mysterious. And in fact, when you are actually doing this, the only person that really knows what is being said is the person who wrote it, who expressed their thoughts, and unless they tell you what that means, you're not going to figure it out because there are so many permutations, and when you take one rune and join it with another one, you suddenly have other runes which fit into it, which is kind of neat in itself. Again, I'm going to put a cap on this because I could really talk forever. For Joe's benefit, really, you know, everyone else that's interested in here, it spells out life, and it's a mirror image, so you'd see it backwards as well as forwards or sideways and up and down, whatever, combined with my my Boyer's mark. So what I told you is what it spells out. What you take from that is what you make from that. And with that, gosh, I'll show you the red one. And I'm just so hoping that you are able to see these things because it's really striking. Subtle. You know, I could have used white and it's like, bah! This is what I've painted on them. But in some respects, personal thing, the only one that really is going to get the warm, fuzzy feeling from a device such as this person holding it, who they can see it very well. Personal meaning instead of being out there advertising everything for everyone to see, like, ironically, what I'm doing with a YouTube channel. So I will do my best to kind of glint this around. Slightly different. This design is not on that green bow, it's a different one. You notice the one in the green bow is a tree. This basic design down here, which is ironic for various reasons, extremely various reasons. And then the same bind rune up there with life spelled out, my Boyer's mark, in the shape of an arrow. And with that, I do believe that the rawhide still has a day or two more to dry before I do the finished tiller, following up with the final finish, which is going to bring the richness out of that black. And the wood, put the handles on them and send them out to Oregon. Thank you for watching. And, you know, I sounded pretty dumb in that video earlier when I was shoveling snow. But again, don't take anything at surface value. I'm like one of these weird people that, like, if I'm asking a question, I'm actually asking another question. If I want somebody to think about something, I might look the fool, but then at that expense, it might get something going that's useful. Sacrificing my dignity for you. Anyway, probably time to shovel more snow. It's always fun. Maybe I'll shovel the trails. That way I can ride my unicycle. Have a good one. Have a great day, everyone.